We're here. All right. Better late than never. We got schedule release. Thank you for joining us here on the Raven Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So thank you very much. We're going to get it rolling tonight. Did have to wait for the schedule to come out, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you very much for tolerating that here tonight, and we'll go ahead and get it going. Raven Sports now has an affiliate deal with Fanatics. So definitely, too, if you want to buy all your Fanatics merchandise on our Raven Sports website, on Facebook, on all of our social media platforms, there'll be a link where you can go directly buy from us on Fanatics. That includes also to ravensports.company.site as well. So definitely keep that in mind. That is information there for you as well. Genesis Notary Services /Facebook.com. So that's a Winchester, Virginia notary business. I've been saying about Winchester. If you know, you know. Winchester is the place where we have our notary business in the surrounding areas, Frederick County, Clark County, Rappahannock County, etc. All those surrounding areas, we have notary for you, mobile notary. We come out to you and we will stamp your documents with care. See Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. So definitely, too, if you need any help with your your legal needs, especially if you're trying to be a business owner, you're trying to collect money. I'm doing some things with the business right now, patents and all that other fun stuff, legalities with the new affiliation and all that other stuff. So definitely checking all that out. It's a great resource for you to go ahead and get all of that fun stuff done. All right. It's out. The NFL 2025 schedule was released tonight around 8 o'clock, 8:30. So we're going ahead and we're going to get it going. NFL schedule is here for it. Ravens schedule is going ahead and getting squared away. I think that's the back half. Oh, let's go to the front half for the schedule there. So the Ravens 2025 schedule has been released just recently. So this year was kind of all at the same time. Last year, I saw a lot of schedule releases early in the afternoon, whatever. There was a few leaks. They announced the first game, but I think the Monday night game, I think the first Thursday night game was announced on the Today Show a couple days ago, etc. But they had pretty much the whole league, pretty much this year came out right around 8 o'clock tonight, as far as most of the bulk of the schedule, the full schedule release. So here we go. I was saying it in on Twitter, on social media, that this is what I wanted for the first game. Ravens in Buffalo to go back the first Sunday night game on NBC Peacock. Ravens against the Bills, Sunday Night Football. I think this is I love this. Just like last year when they played Kansas City, they was eliminated by the Bills. Very close game in Buffalo at the last minute. They're going to find out right away how good. I think these probably are. NBC picked this game. These are probably the two best teams in the AFC right off the bat. The Bills and the Ravens. I think this is going to get them out the way early. Let's see how good this revamped Buffalo team is, etc. So I think it's a great early test for the Ravens. I want to send a message right away, send a statement right away. We're going to see now to the opposite end. The Brownies are week 2, first home game in Baltimore. Seems like they always have these games on the road for whatever reason. They can't ever start at home. Whenever I have a big game like that, they seem to always have a road game. So they're starting at home the following week, M&T Bank Stadium on a Sunday, September 14th against the Browns, 1 o'clock. We have no idea. This could be another case where we see Joe Flacco versus Lamar Jackson. I'm kind of thinking it'll be Joe Flacco for the Browns early in the year. I just think that because I think Shador, Dylan Gabriel, I think they'll wait at least a few weeks to put them in, especially while you bring Joe Flacco in. He's had success with Kevin Stefanski. Certainly good time to catch the Browns. I don't know how good the Browns are going to be later in the year, but certainly here, good time to catch them. 2 very tough games, obviously. But we're really a slate of 4 or 5 really tough games. Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are really good. I mean, they're not as sexy of a pick as they were last year. Not as much consensus of them winning the NFC, but the Lions are really good. Aiden Hutchinson's back in the fold for them. Goff, I think, has really emerged as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. Offensive line, I think, is really good for Detroit. I've been saying that over and over with Detroit's offensive line is very impressive. Ahmad St. Brown, I think, is one of the best receivers in the league. Gibbs, I think, a running back is outstanding. Their offense is outstanding. They are missing Ben Johnson. That's going to matter. So you lose a coordinator of this caliber. That's going to matter to him as a head coach. We'll see. Can they repair on defense? Good. This is going to be a lot of points in this one. You just got that feeling, especially early defenses and everything are getting themselves together. KC, this is the 4 o'clock game. By the way, Lions was a Monday night game. So definitely. So another first two out of 3 games are primetime games. Featured matchup for sure. The late 4:30 game on CBS here. I'm pretty sure we're going to get the great Jim Nantz and Tony Romo at the 4:30. The Chefs and the Ravens. 2 really good teams. I'm curious to see how good the Chiefs still are. How good the Chefs still are. Kelsey, probably at the end of his career here. They lost Joe Thuney in the offseason. The group of receivers, I think, are really good. Mahomes is still really good. Defense is still really good. Would they still have enough to beat the Ravens in Kansas City? I think this is still a game the Ravens still want to win. Really, really big statement you can make here if you go into KC and win. So really tough games early. Detroit, Buffalo, and KC early as well. Next 2 are tough as well. Texans, they've had pretty good success against the Texans or Ravens, frankly. No matter who's the quarterback has been, they're getting in the game at home. I think that matters. CJ Stroud seems to be much better on the road. It's much better at home than he is on the road. So they're coming into Baltimore and have to play. I think so. It'll be fascinating to see how good Texans are. Texas offensive line, I think, is suspect. I think they'll win that division. It'll be curious to see how good they are outside of the division. So that'll be very, very interesting here. Rams is the next week, 1 o'clock on Fox. So an early game for a West Coast team coming all the way across country to play in Baltimore at 1 o'clock. So that's about 10 a.m. LA time. One of the games of the year a couple years ago. I mean, none of us are going to forget that outstanding game that they had at M&T Bank Stadium, winning the overtime. Talon Wiles, that exciting punt return to actually go ahead and win the game in overtime. Fantastic. So the Rams are coming in. I think the Rams are one of the favorites in the NFC. San Francisco, I think, is not the team that they were. Seattle switching quarterbacks, a lot of issues there. So the Rams coming in, it seems like they get the Rams a lot. But the Rams are coming in to M&T Bank Stadium, should be favored in that game, the early game, et cetera, as well. Rams are, I think, the New England Patriots in the sense of this is a team I've noticed very few mistakes, very few penalties. This is why they win without very big names at all places. Very disciplined group. Bears, how good are the Bears? So interesting to see. A lot of hype around the Bears. Caleb Williams, the number 1 pick from a year ago. They bring in the new coach, Ben Johnson. They go ahead, they fix the line. That's kind of what they do. They're going to run the football. We know that. They got Colston Loveland in the draft. They're making the right moves, but is it going to translate on the field to a better football team in a tough division with the Lions and Packers? I think are very interesting to see how that goes. It was the game of the year. They had the game of the year last year against the Commanders as well. So interesting for them to go travel down I-95 here. Miami Dolphins. Two of the greatest of all time that ever. The Dolphins, Don Shula, the great Colts, former Baltimore Colts coach also for the Miami Dolphins. Also to Dan Marino, the history of it as well. So this is the Prime Video game Thursday night, Amazon Prime Video in Miami, home of the great Ray Lewis, former Raven as well. Miami, I think, is a decent football team, but I think decent's about it. They have a decent quarterback. I think Tua Tagovailoa, as long as he's healthy, is a good quarterback. I think their offensive line is very shaky. Their receivers, I think, are really good. They weren't as good last year. They're going to rise and fall in how good Tua Tagovailoa is. Jalen Ramsey's looking for the door. I don't think they're at the Ravens level, but they do have the game at home, short week, a Thursday night game. So that'll be interesting there as well. Vikings. I think I've been getting the Vikings pretty hard for a team that was really good. I'm going to say they're really good because the Vikings have been hitting them hard. Vikings had the best, very, very close to having the best record in the NFC last season. I think the defense is very, very good. I think they do have all the parts. They did bring back veteran Harrison Smith to come back for one more year. I think defensively, I think they're solid. I do think they have Justin Jefferson, who might be the best receiver, I think, in the entire league, if it's not Jamar Chase. There's a lot right. I don't think they got the right quarterback. I think they're just not. That was just, I don't understand that decision to go ahead and start J.J. McCarthy over Sam Darnold. I'm not sure they would have won as many games this year anyway with Darnold, but certainly without Darnold, I really don't see it. Why they went ahead and did that. A couple more here. Browns on week November 16th and in Cleveland. So this is now where we're getting cold now in Cleveland. You might have some snow here right after Veterans Day in Cleveland. Browns, wonder who's the quarterback's going to be at that point. At that point, we had Joe Flacco, like week 2. At this point, will we see Shador, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett at that point? Will it be somebody new? Running backs, how far have they developed? Do they have an elite running game? Offensive line is decent. Defense is not as – there are some parts in Cleveland. So let's see how far they get at this point in the season. Jets, we know this should be a win for the Ravens. I think the Jets Fields, I think if you put the ranking quarterbacks, maybe 32 of 32. Fields is not – they're going to get some rush yards with him. But I think the Ravens defense is going to have a field day with Justin Field here if it is, and he's probably their best quarterback. So Jets, that'll be interesting right near Thanksgiving. It looks like on Thanksgiving night, we're going to get the Bengals and the Ravens as well. So definitely this could be two out of the next 3 weeks. Here we go with the division games. This could be for the NFC North first place at this point as well. The Ravens seem to get this game a home game on Thursday night with the Bengals. It seems like this has been a lot. This year it is on Thanksgiving. So they are going to go ahead and play the Bengals. I think this could be a key matchup for them to actually win the division. So could this game against the Squealers. So 3 straight home games as well here. Jets, Bengals, Squealers here as Sunday, December 7th. Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers that day? Are we going to have Aaron Rodgers visiting us? Is it going to be Mason Rudolph there? Are they going to have to bring Ben out of the stands? I think that's the only question with Pittsburgh. Not the only team with this issue, but can they get enough on offense as well? Defensively, we know they're going to be really good. So we're not worried about the defense. I think J.J. Watt is still there. They got Hampton. They got Harmon in the draft. Hayward is still there. Fitzpatrick. They'll be fine on defense. They'll be – Mike Tomlin will have that squared away. But can they score? Can they do enough on offense to compete with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson and their high-powered offense? The Bengals have, again so you're going to go to Cincinnati, have the high-powered offense. Can they get enough on defense? That's the question with their I've been picking on the Bengals. Their Achilles heel is twofold. They start slow. They seem to start 0-3, 1-5, 4, and they battle back, and then they don't get in as good a position. And also to defensively, they don't play well. They got to play better on defense. So that's the thing. The Bengals, interesting to see how that goes. Couple more. December 21st, New England. Do not sleep on this one. New England, this might be a team playing for playoff position. So this is the last home game here on the December 21st. New England might be one of the most improved teams in the league. They had a lot of cap space last year. Drake May, I think, is developing. They went out and signed a bunch of guys on defense. They spent some of that money. They have a much better coach in Mike Vrabel. So interesting to see how they do. I think, too, in that division, room to move. Dolphins, I'm not so sure. Jets, I'm definitely sure that they're not great. So they probably won't win the division because Buffalo's in it. Buffalo's really good. But I definitely think this would be – I think, like, looking at it from 50,000 feet, well, the Patriots weren't very good. But no. I think this could be a team that's going to give you a lot of trouble. We know the Packers are going to be a good team. Packers always are. Especially late game in this year. I mean, definitely this is going to be the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, as historically said. You're playing in Green Bay in December, so expect snow, expect cold weather. I'm actually kind of liking to see this for Lamar. If there is something I do think he has an issue with, is playing in cold weather. So the last 2 weeks here, he's going to get his shot. He's going to play in cold weather spot in Green Bay. He's going to get to play his cold weather in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, the last game is scheduled for Sunday, January 4th. It could be the 3rd. The last week games, they do all division games all across the league. So they're doing that so to generate, a situation where you might have a winner-take-all, a play-in, whatever. Teams are not just phoning it in because they're playing division games. Division games are more meaningful. Also, too, last week as well. Certainly playing in Pittsburgh as well. But this is also an opportunity to, again, play in cold weather. Now, hopefully, like last year, like a couple of years, we had the division all wrapped up. They're just resting players. But it'd be interesting to see when that game is. Also, to schedule they reserve the right to move all the games. So it might be a Sunday night game. It might be a Saturday. Last couple of years, they had a Saturday. We don't know. So Sunday, January 4th, most likely is the date for the last game. So now we know the schedule of the Ravens is there. So there you go. So glad it's here. Now we know when the Ravens are going to play, where they're going to play, who they're going to be playing, what networks they're going to be playing on as well. Going to first game Sunday night is in Buffalo. I was wanting that. Obviously, Kansas City on the road. You're getting that early. A team you might see in the Super Bowl if you get that far. The Rams early. So if you're going to go ahead and play a lot of these games, you're going to see these teams early. Detroit early. Again, a team you might see in the Super Bowl. So they're getting a chance to look at teams they might have to play in the Super Bowl in September. So it have to be on point because you're playing a lot of tough games in September. But it'll be interesting to get a lot of that out of the way early in the season as well. So there you go. So now we know. That was at the end of, what was that? Reading Rainbow and knowing, G.I. Joe. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. All right. Haven't played this in a while, so let's go ahead and cue it up.
Yeah, we're good. We have ice for us. Hey, Dante, pan left for me.
The big five biggest games in honor of the schedule coming out. 5 biggest games of the year on the schedule. So let's go ahead and go over the 5 biggest games, not just non-Raven games of the entire season that I'm most looking forward to. Bills and the Chefs. So I think this is very big here. I do believe there is some slippage for the Chefs this year. They should be still really good. I still think they're in the playoffs, but the Bills are kind of in the Ravens' same situation with not being able to get over the hump with a really good team like the Chefs. So can they go into Kansas City, kind of like the Ravens are going to get the same shot? So this is going to be on November 2nd, where they are going to know. We're going to know about Kansas City at that point. You're going to know a lot about Buffalo. I think Buffalo and the Ravens are probably the surest bet to be really, really good teams in the league. So we're going to know how good Kansas City is. Are they going to be in the same spot? Are they going to be playing for the division? Can they still beat Buffalo? So it'll be interesting to see that there as well. The Lions and the Eagles. Definitely one I personally was hoping for would be the first Monday night game. I think could be the 2 best teams in the entire NFC. The Detroit Lions. Lions, I think, are going to be less talked about, I think, in terms of national media as well. But I do think they are going to be really good. So this is going to be November 16th. This is going to be a Sunday night game. Of course it is, because it is 2 of the better teams in the NFL. Lions, Eagles, we know how good they are. They won the Super Bowl last year. Can they maintain without the Super Bowl hangover? Sometimes teams win the Super Bowl. Maybe they're a little less hungry, a little less pep in their step, etc. We will see what the Eagles go. This could be a big revenge game here. So the Packers and the Squealers are going to play. I'd be surprised. Obviously, Lester is off this game. If by some miracle that the Aaron Rodgers does not sign with the Aaron Rodgers for whatever reason does not sign with the Squealers, I think we all believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with them at some point. So this is October 26th, the Sunday night game. So I think NBC believes like he's going to sign there as well. This would be the first time Aaron Rodgers going against his former team on against Jordan Love, the guy who replaced him as well, going against Matt LaFleur. I kind of only hope this game was in Green Bay to go ahead and check it out. But I think this will be huge. Also, not just that storyline as well. 2 of, I think, the better teams possibly in the NFL. Steelers, I think, maybe they're a playoff team if they can get Aaron Rodgers and get in. Packers, I think, trying to show they can be more than just, I think they're a good, solid playoff team. So, again, late in the year, it could be a game that really has a lot of meaning as well. This one, I think, is pretty obvious. The Eagles and the Chefs, the 2 teams last year in the Super Bowl as well. So Eagles, I think they're the favorites going into the season as well in the NFC. Commanders, I think, are going to be fighting with them as well. to be one of the better teams in the NFL.
There's no point in getting rid of one and having the other two.
They're fighting for position. Sorry about that. Fighting for position in the NFL as well. And so they're going to be playing the Eagles here very early in the season. So you're going to get this game week two, September 14th in Arrowhead. So again, Chiefs, tough home. It seems like they're getting these games at home too. Like they're getting the Eagles at home, the Bills at home, the Ravens at home. Maybe three of the best teams in the league. So they're going to get an opportunity to prove me wrong and prove a lot of fans wrong that they are still the better team in the ESL. So great early test for them as well. And I think this is the two teams that are ascending here or could be ascending as we go forward. The Houston Texans and the LA Rams. So some of y'all might think this one is a little, but I think one of these two teams has the opportunity this season to really move into the category of being one of the elite teams. So this is a week one game. So Houston actually week one, actually going out to SoFi. SoFi, I think, is one of the coolest stadiums in the entire NFL. And I think this is a game there that I think it's very possible that one of these two teams could be elite. I don't know that. But I think the Texans certainly have a shot. They definitely have some issues. The Rams certainly have a shot. Can they overcome their issues as well? Really interested to see, especially in this week one game, the unveiling of the Davante Adams as a Los Angeles Ram. So very interesting to see. So there you go. Five biggest games on the schedule of the whole schedule for the NFL, the National Football League. So definitely check that out as well. Two biggest games in the National Football League, five biggest games rather, in the National Football League schedule as well. Guess at this point you can't call it breaking news. I see some people use the breaking news at all points. Derrick Henry today signed a deal with the Ravens as well. So his contract was set to end at the end of last year. At the end of this coming year, he did sign a 2-year extension. So the Ravens actually did go ahead and sign up another year. So I think this is very, very good for him as well, because gives him the opportunity. It's good for him because he gets more money, right? So he gets a larger contract, gets to continue on as the Ravens. I think it's good for the Baltimore Ravens because what happens with him, he gets the opportunity to they don't have to haggle next season if he goes ahead and has an outstanding season and going ahead and worrying about his contract, worrying about having the price, worrying about going in the draft. So it gives the team more flexibility with him to go ahead and get that taken care of. So Derrick Henry, shout out Derrick Henry, getting a new deal with the Ravens and getting that taken care of. Darius Washington, heartbreaking news. Apparently he tore his Achilles in practice or in the field or in drills. I think it could have been even drills. So Darius I don't think he was even needed to be at the rookie camp, but he was there working out. And so Darius we're not going to have him most likely for the entire 2025 season. Heartbreaking. Darius was out. I think switching to a Darius last year was one of the biggest moves that the team made as far as getting the defense going. The pass defense was struggling all year, and so they actually got Darius Washington in there as well. So heartbreaking for Darius. Chuck Clark is out there. Names like Justin Simmons. Will they just stand back? Will they give more time for Bo Brace, Sesame Kane? Are they going to have that philosophy? Good thing they did, As we feel for Darius, it's a good thing they did draft Malachi Starks. So it almost felt like, in some ways, they were drafting like less of a need. You never know. NFL, not for long. It became a need real quick because you don't have a Darius now all season. So interesting to see what happens there. Heartbreaking, but I just felt terrible for Darius. Darius really worked, was really working like a grinder, guy who had to work his way into playing time, work his way into that position, and to see him get hurt in a minicamp is just terrible. So, other thing, we already did Big Five. Bravery Sports affiliate deal roll out June 1st. So at the end of the month, you'll see our links. You're going to see it right up here where I'm pointing my finger at the top of the screen. You're going to see links everywhere, okay? So you're going to see them on our Facebook, our Instagram, all of our social media platforms, which are growing. Our Twitter page is now over 530 people. So we thank you for that. Just got new followers on all of our platforms. YouTube got new followers this week. Twitter, all that's I already said Twitter. Twitch, Rumble, all those other platforms are just growing. So we are so thankful as well. Also, to check out our new the new Facebook page at Driving to the Top. You will see some of our content as well there. We are on Spotify. I haven't plugged it more, but we are going to talk about Spotify. So if you are interested, especially to audio version for you people that just like to go on runs like me or just go on these long walks and listen to a podcast, you can do it on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, put Bravery Sports Podcast on Spotify, and we will be happy to go ahead and get that squared away for you as well. All right, so let's talk about NBA playoffs. And we got games going on right now. Bit of a surprise for y'all. This is going the way some of us thought. So let's go over it as well. So the best series, I think, by far is the Thunder and the Nuggets, which doesn't surprise me. That's 7 games. Both teams, I think, are playing very, very well in this series. 3-2. I absolutely think it's going to be 7 games. These games are going to be very close. A decisive win, I thought, in Game 2 for the Nuggets. A decisive game, I thought, in Game 2 for the Nuggets. But all these other games are very close. 2-point loss for the Nuggets. Went to overtime. Excuse me. Lose by 5. Lose by 7. I think that both styles, I don't think this – it's almost a shame, I think, that one of these teams has to lose, because I think these are 2 teams that are just really, really, really good. You're seeing the heart of a champion in both sides. Nikola Jokic has been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal all year. 29 points in this series, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, just mind-blowing. Just so much carrying the load. I think the young guys have struggled a little bit to help Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. This is by far, I think, the best series with the best teams in it. So I think the Thunder and the Nuggets, I have no idea how this is going to go. T-Wolves are putting everybody on notice. I think this is more the story here in this series. We talk about Golden State, Steph Curry, Draymond in their 30s. They did go out and get Jimmy Butler. But this is what's going on. This is what's going on. The Ant-Man and McDaniels and these young guys, and they're letting everybody know that this is no longer the league of Steph Curry and LeBron and KD, and you guys are going to have to step aside for some of these young guys. And I think Anthony Edwards has really, really put on a show against Golden State. Now, Golden State obviously has their issues. Draymond is just acting like his usual idiot self, getting thrown out of games and all that. Not having Steph Curry now with the injury, that's a blow you can't overcome. I'm not sure you would have beat him anyway. They're winning right now, 38-31. I definitely expected the T-Wolves to actually get there to the finals. It's going to be one heck of a Western Conference Finals. Whoever gets there, Not sure. I think the Nuggets should win. I think the Nuggets could win this series. The Nuggets could win this series. I think the winner of that series could be winning is probably in my mind the favorite to win the whole thing. In the East, it's over in the one series. The Cavs out in 5. So this was my concern. Can you play with the lights being bright? Can you play now at the highest level? On the open mic, a great point was made. I thought it was wonderful how good of a coach Rick Carlisle is. Somebody noticed that, how this guy's won a title, how his teams always seem to be. This is 2 straight years, Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is, again, put him on notice. In the Olympics, had to watch KD, Steph, and all that, and we didn't got run for you. And he's putting in work here, getting it done, winning 4 out of 5 against a good Cavs team. Cavs, Mitchell's they gotta do better in the playoffs. They have to do better in the playoffs because all the pieces are there, but they can't really seem to get out of their way, get out of second round, etc. As well. And this one, even though they lost, they lost the most recent game. I think the Knicks should be able to go into the conference finals leading 3-2 as well. They're not going to have Jason Tatum the rest of the way in this series. I think he tore his Achilles. It's questionable when, if they're going to have him at all for when the next season starts. So he's going to sit obviously all summer. Obviously, probably, I think January at the earliest, depending on how it could be longer than that. But I would say January before you actually see Tatum. Without Tatum, I don't think they are going to win. I think they took their foot off the gas in this last one, and so they lost. But I think Jalen, again, here's a guy, again, putting everybody on notice, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, I think, is sensational, the way he plays. This was a roll of the dice, getting Jalen Brunson for the Knicks. This was a guy who was kind of the second guy in Denver to Luka Doncic. And they were just kind of hoping, hey, kind of like similar to I saw years ago with James Harden, kind of hoping, okay, so we get him away from Nikola, and he's going to score more points. Kind of like years ago with James Harden. Hey, he's playing in the same backcourt with Westbrook. Houston takes him. We get him away. He's going to score more points. He has scored more points. Like, he's putting the rest of thought that he is not good enough to be the best player on a championship team. I kind of made this argument for years with Jimmy Butler, and Brunson, I think, is absolutely proving the point that he is good enough to be the best player on the conference championship. I think for sure we're about to see he's good enough to be the best player going to the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, so there you go. We went over the NBA playoffs here as well. So good to see. This isn't going the way a lot of people thought. This is going a little bit different compared to what we have been seeing. So interesting to see that as well. So in a few weeks, we're going to start our baseball summer. We're going to start talking about the minor league teams in the Orioles system and minor league teams in the local interest. So we do talk about that. Norfolk Tides, Aberdeen. I like to talk about Aberdeen has some issues, business issues going on right now. The Ripken family is no longer with them as well. The talk of the Frederick Keys coming back. We're going to talk about Frederick Keys this summer. We're going to talk about the now Chesapeake Bay Sox, no longer the Bowie Bay Sox. So there's a lot moving business-wise at the minor leagues level, and the system for the Orioles isn't what it was. So I think they're at a time now where they need to find that next group of players. You can't just pluck all these great players as well. So we'll get to that. But today we're going to talk about awards. So obviously, May 14th is a little early to decide an MVP. It's a little early to decide a Cy Young. It's a little early to decide a lot of this stuff, right? Obviously, right? Long way to go. Not quite at a quarter pole, but it is going to be interesting to see how guys have done so far this year, right? So we are here at the point of the season where, okay, now we know what's going on here early. This matters. This matters in the sense of we're here early enough. There's been enough games. If a guy's hitting right now, like I would use Adley for example, hitting like 201 or 22, it matters now. You know, we're no longer should have the cream is starting to rise a little bit. So, and that's what we're gonna do here. Early MLB leaders for awards. If I was to pick MLB awards right now here in May, this is who is the early leaders in the clubhouse. Most valuable player in the American League, Bobby Witt. I think this actually might surprise because the numbers haven't been off the page completely like they were last year. But I tell you what, I every time I look at the stats with Bobby Witt, he's pretty high in a lot of categories. He isn't down there. He's not one in this category and 30 in this one. Top 5, top 6, top 7. I think what's hurting him this year is the Royals haven't had as good a start as they've had. But Bobby Witt, I think, has still been really, really good as well. Top 5 in a lot of different categories as well. So I think Witt, you look at players in the American League, Bobby Witt, I think, is been really, really good. I have him at a third as far as leaders for the MVP. Number 2, I think, yeah, Bobby's got like 5 home runs, 25 RBIs, 312. I mean, very balanced stuff. This is definitely a guy that you didn't expect, and that's Alex Bregman here. I don't know what the heck is going on with him as far as him arguing with the Met, with Devers and all that stuff. I don't know exactly what's going on there. I don't. They brought him in. I think it was a little bit of even a surprise to me that they left him at third, that they moved Devers. So Devers has been unhappy with his role. He doesn't want to play first. He didn't want to DH, etc. Part of the reason is Bregman has been really good. Bregman is one of the leaders, 10 home runs, 32 RBIs, 304 average. One of the leaders in American League in hits. I think he's got 52 hits. So Bregman, I think, has really answered the bell in terms of being one of the better players in the American League. But I think we know this. They're a distant second, third to Judge. Judge has been unbelievable. Named this week captain of the World Baseball Classic. He's never actually played in the World Baseball Classic. So shout out to the Judge, Aaron Judge, even though he is a Yankee. But numbers, 15 home runs, 41 RBIs, total bases, 129. Are you kidding me? 68 hit. I mean, Judge is on a different planet. So no question about it. Only reason I think the Yankees, are in respectability is Judge, at least on the offensive side. Copy paste that for pitching. Max Fried has been the Cy Young here early as far as for pitching in the American League. Fried, I think, has been a microscopic 1.1 ERA, 6-0, 6 innings pitched, 6 quality starts. Fantastic. Everything they're paying for in New York, he's been giving them. They have had a lot of injuries, but one thing they've had, and you've seen it with our Orioles, they don't have the ace. They have one in New York. Max Fried has been terrific for them. Judge and Fried are the reasons why they're floating above water. No question about it for those teams. Hunter Brown, I think, is the guy. He's been good. I think this is a name that maybe you guys are not as familiar with. Young guy starting to come into his own. That matters. So when you see a guy like this, 26 years old, ERA under 1, 6-1, so they definitely needed it. Astros not quite as good, so I think that hurts him, especially, considering how good Fried has been, obviously. But Fried has been really, really good as well. But Brown has been really good. We expect Framber Valdez out there to be the number one pitcher, but Hunter Brown, I think, is really taking it from him as well. Here's another name. You expect Tigers. You expect Tarik Skubal, who's still been outstanding for them. I mean, don't get it wrong. But let's get some respect on Casey Mize, one of their young prospects. So this is a team been waiting for a lot of their young pitchers to really develop, get to the majors, and really play well, really pitch well. And this guy is 6-1, ERA a little bit higher, 2.53, 35 strikeouts. I think he's right there. I think right there early, he's been every bit what Tarik Skubal is for them. Now, he hasn't had to face the number one pitcher, et cetera. Skubal's obviously been good too, but no question about it for me that the guy has been Mize has definitely got it. Just early consideration for MVP. Manager, Stephen Vogt, I love him as a manager. I love him as a player. You see the way he manages, the way he played, scrappy, grinder, emotional, exactly what a Guardians team needs. They kind of mirror their manager in a lot of ways. So definitely have him there. Expectations were pretty good. I think the Guardians are pretty good. So that's why I didn't have him as high as well. Bob Melvin, I think, has been solid no matter where he's been. Bob Melvin is the guy that is the resurrection guy. It brings it up. And look, I've never been big with the Giants. I'm not a huge believer yet of the Giants, but the Giants are really good. And Melvin has had them play well. So definitely shout out to the Giants. But Dan Wilson, I'm sorry, I got him in the wrong way. But I will say, Dan Wilson is – stop. I don't know what I'm stopping. I think maybe talking about I got Melvin wrong there as well in National League. So American League National League, Dan Wilson, I think the Mariners have been better than a lot of people think. Mariners have been really good as well this year. Best rookie in the American League. A 35-year-old rookie, Sagano, I think, as Orioles fans, we know, I think this has really been the bright spot. He has been the best pitcher consistently throughout the year. And I say this about guys who pitch in Japan all the time. What is the strength that they have? They're pitching in Japan. You haven't seen them before. You don't know them. And I think he's been well. Changes, speeds well. Not this hard flamethrower. Knows exactly what he is. Off speed, got that typical Japanese funky delivery that's hard for hitters to pick up. He's been very good for the Orioles, outstanding as well. Christian Campbell for the Red Sox as well, in the midst of all this Devers stuff as well. Also, here's another name, Campbell, has been outstanding for them here at the start. So he has really done a good job. I think one of the premier rookies there as well. I thought for sure they were going to go ahead and move Bregman to second and then leave Devers at third. They didn't do that. And I think this is why. They wanted to play this guy, Chris Campbell, who's done so well for them as well. He's been playing him so well this season. He's hit 5 home runs for them, 15 RBIs, been outstanding. So I can't really argue with that. But Jacob Wilson is becoming a thing for what I'm calling the Sacramento A's. They're not calling themselves that I'm calling them. I'm calling them the Sacramento A's. Wilson, I think, is on a different planet here as a rookie. So he has got a huge start. 363 average, 5 home runs, 26 RBIs. Been phenomenal for them. So here's a team that's starting to come around. So many years in the basement, so many years not doing well. So it has been very, very good for him. I think Wilson, is the leader in the clubhouse here. MVP in the National League. Not Ohtani, although he's been really good. The numbers, I wouldn't say have been to me as I think eventually they might be. No shade on Ohtani, but I almost feel like I have to apologize for not putting Ohtani. But like Ohtani, not the guy here so far as well. But I think Tani's top 3. I mean, we know who the best player in baseball is. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. It's Shohei Ohtani. But 12 home runs, 27 RBIs, 302, really good numbers, but I wouldn't put him at number 1. Austin Riley may surprise some people, but Riley, I think, has been really good for them so far. So Riley, I think the Braves are starting to come around. They have a lot of talent, but last year, guys didn't play as well, didn't hit as well. I think Riley, getting back to form has really helped them a lot. But Pete Alonso has really, really been good for the Mets. So you talk about MVP candidates. I know they spent a lot of money on Juan Soto. And they weren't even almost going to keep Pete Alonso, but Soto has barely been really good for them. But Alonso has really been good for them, so I'm putting him at 1. Cy Young. Usually you don't have a reliever, but I think you have to, in this case, consider a reliever in the National League. Robert Suarez has been fantastic. 15 saves already. So we're in May. He's got 15 saves. ERA climbed up a bit because I think his last outing, but Suarez, I think, has been fantastic. One of the reasons why the Padres have been so good right on the fields of the Dodgers. So definitely you have to take a look at that as well. Number 2, Nick Feta. So look, also concerned about the Padres rotation. Had to make some changes. No Yu Darvish for the first time. They lost Blake Snell a few years ago, so they've had to kind of rebuild things. And Peva, I think, has been fantastic for them as well. He's won a lot of games as well. He's 5-2. I definitely think he's there. But again, the Mets, Senga, I gotta say, you gotta have him. 1.22 ERA, 4-2. Quality starts, I think, has been fantastic. Tough to decide in the National League, but I'm going to with Senga as well there. Manager of the year, I messed up on that last graphic. That's why maybe he was telling me to stop. Bob Melvin, I think I have it 1. I think he speaks for himself. Outstanding. Craig Counsell, I think is we know him as one of the best coaches on the margins. I think he's got a little bit more pressure in him with him. In Chicago's really playing well. And I think Carlos Marmol of the Cardinals, their record is right around above 500, but there's not much there. I think they're doing good considering their circumstances as well. Last category here, Luis, Rookie of the Year in the National League. Not a lot of rookies really to me sticking out. We thought maybe Sasaki would. He's been injured, didn't start out as well. So I'm going to say Luis Angel Acuna for the Mets, another Met. So he has been really good here at the start. Kasparis has been really good out the Dodger bullpen. And Liam Hicks with a Mariner team with a lot of good young players. He's been good for them as well. There you go. They're the leaders in the clubhouse. All right. So let's get with it. The Orioles report. I don't think I even have that graphic. I can tell if somebody is lying. There you go. Orioles report. So what's going on with the Orioles? We lost again. They lost 2 of 2 today to Minnesota. They have 1 game tomorrow, getaway day. They're going to be traveling on the road here over the weekend. Last Thursday, Colin Shelby was sent to Norfolk. They've been up and down with him several times. Designated Matt Bowman for assignment. Luis F. Castillo. That's important. That's not the Luis Castillo that we all are thinking of with the Seattle Mariners as well. It's a different guy altogether as well. So we'll see. You try anything at this point. That's exactly what I heard about this. You try anything at this point. You're not getting anything hardly from your starting pitching. Kitchen should be back pretty soon. I think probably we'll see him next week. I'm thinking he's on a rehab assignment now in Norfolk. So they sent him on last Thursday. A couple more days. I'm assuming it won't be too much longer, depending on how well he does. Definitely need the bullpen. Bullpen let us down certainly today. Tyler O'Neill's back in the lineup, reinstated from the 10-day IL. Kobe Mayo was optioned down to Norfolk, sending Walter Pennington outright to Norfolk. Getting O'Neill back is good. He hasn't been great so far, but I don't think he's got a chance to get in the rhythm. I think a lot of these guys have been hurt. So we'll see. So I'm not so worried about that. A lot of guys were upset about Kobe Mayo. It didn't shock me at all. Mayo, a couple things. Emmanuel Rivera has played well. So I think that's part of it. As much as I know we don't want to hear that, Emmanuel Rivera is sitting like at 300. So they didn't want to set him down considering he's well. Mayo, very small sample size. It's fair, but he didn't play well. He really didn't play well in the short sample size. He didn't really hit. I think he got one hit or whatever. So I kind of understand. I'm with all you guys who are saying you shouldn't have brought him up if you're just going to send him back down, whatever. But they really seem to lack a little confidence in the sense of these young guys as far as that goes. They seem to be a little wish-wash in terms of getting guys to play. So Matt Bowman again outrighted to outright where he was and did accept the assignment at Norfolk. Sunday, Zach Eflin, thank God. That's exactly what I said, thank God. Was reinstated. Colin Shelby, again, optioned to Norfolk. Reinstated Trevor Rogers from the 15-day DL and optioned him to Norfolk. Okay? Rogers first, so they took him off IL and just optioned him down. So he's going to stay at Norfolk. They really don't want to put him in a rotation. They want him to get some more work. Eflin, I think, is Zach Eflin. I think he's clearly your best pitcher along with Sagano. So I don't think it's great to have him back. I think he looked decent enough in his first start. They like to stretch him out. I think he pitched 5, and I thought no problem with that. Shelby, again, we've seen his name so many times up and down. Injured list, off the injured list. Zach Eflin. Earlier today, Ramon Urias was back. He was in the lineup today from the 10-day IL. Option Dylan Carlson. There's another one down again as well. Down again as well to AAA. Norfolk. Reyes is going to be back. Chance McDermott got the spot start today. I don't think he's going to stay in the roster, especially since he wasn't good in the start. That got him, they kind of like doing this. Some teams like doing this, taking a guy from the minor leagues. They're allowed to kind of take a guy from the minor leagues, give him a spot start, not waste the option, etc. So I think that's what happened. Likely to be sent back down again. Jackson Holiday, who's hot? Jackson Holiday was really good. I think he's finally coming to his own. Getting the leadoff spot. I think that's a spot that you like to see. Mounty's hitting some home runs coming back around. We just mentioned Emmanuel Rivera. He's been good. No other way to say that. So I think that is the reason. As much as we like to see Kobe Mayo up here, I think that's part of why he's here. Cano struggled today, and I think he's been struggling a little bit lately for the first time in the season. Tyler O'Neill has been up, but he's not been good. And you got to say Adley Rushman. I don't know exactly what's wrong as well. He's making contact. I think some of it is tough luck, but I can't keep – he's got to be on the line. I mean, he's hitting barely over 200 or not even 200. I haven't looked at it as of the second game, but not great here at the start as well. This week, playing the Nationals. So it's someone like a home game if you're at the Orioles and you're playing the Nationals. And then this week also you're traveling to, I think, a very underrated Milwaukee team. Milwaukee with a lot of those good young players. And the player of the week is the franchise gunner is back. He looked great. He hit a home run earlier in the first game. I thought his average, he's worked his way up to 280. I think the rest start because he really didn't play at all in the spring. So he's kind of had to work his way in. No issues now with Gunner. You just got to get other guys to go ahead and join them. Thank you very much for our schedule release as well. Next week, we're going to talk about the Ultimate 53. We're going to talk a little bit about who would be the best 53, who would be the best. If I rostered every player in Ravens history, who would make the 53-man roster? So definitely check that out. Thank you very much for joining us for the Ravenry Sports Podcast. Enjoy all the games.